Hello, everybody, and welcome back to tracking our local shifting real estate market here in southern New Jersey, Burlington, Camden, Gloucester County, 900,000 and below. We are at week 26, the halfway point of the year, and we have two highs as of right now, and not just a monthly high, not just a high of this year, but one of our highs is going back all the way to November, so almost, what are we getting? Almost 8 months away since we've had a number this high, and also we set an all-time record, at least since the start of 2023, for the volume on the market. So let's kind of go over what we got for this week, and then I do have a little bit of announcements right at the end of this call. So we got one more week, and then we're going to be doing our monthly averages wrap up, and then we'll also be doing basically a mid-year review wrap up. So next week, week 27 is going to be a big week where we get to do all that. But this week, let's start with our first high record here. Highest since the middle of November of last year is our total active listings. We have more inventory on the market right now than we've had since November of last year. So I'm actually pretty happy with that. The complaint has always been there's not enough homes to go around. Bidding wars are frenzied. It's a little tricky to buy a house right now. And the more active listings that we can put back on the market, the better. And we see that through our two new listings pending and closed. 370 for our new, which is a fantastic number. Not necessarily a record number, but a very high and very strong number. Definitely in the top 20% of weeklies for new listings. Pendings at 278. So again, a good healthy number around that 300 mark, and 309 closed. So really healthy numbers for that. Not quite in our golden ratio, but still a really good, healthy amount of homes that we got on the market and just general activity this month. Our expired, withdrawn, and canceled, very low. Again, we're going to see next week probably going to spike up a little bit just because we'll be rolling through the end of June, and it'll basically be, I think, July 3rd is the next time that I'm checking in with you. Is that correct? Is it really going to be July 3rd? Yeah, July 3rd, the next time that I'm going to be formally checking in with you. Okay, so that's going to be where we'll see a lot of those expired, withdrawn, and canceled for the end of the month. We were at exactly 10% of all listings on the market, took a price reduction this week, which has been our trend that we've been pulling. And then days on market, dropping down a little bit more again, 53 and 23. So still a pretty fast market, but those have been hovering within a margin of error of 5 to 10% difference from week over week. So the speed of the market has been very similar, just some weeks, just depending on the 300 or odd listings that actually close, where those landed. So that's all that is. But let's talk about our second record. And this is a record since we've started recording this entire segment back in January 1st of 2023. And that's the volume of the market. Now, most of the time, the total active listings and the volume are going to go hand in hand. Not most of the time, they do go hand in hand. So we would ask ourselves, well, okay, if this is the highest volume that we've seen since the start of 2023, why are we not also at the highest amount of active listings that we've seen since that time? And I think the big reason is our next data point, which is the price. We can have less homes available on the market, but have the volume be higher, obviously because the price is that much higher. And so we take a smaller number, multiply it by a bigger number. It's a pretty crude example, but you get what I'm saying here. Back when our median list price back in the beginning of 2023 was 309,000, and now we're up to 374,000, 375 basically. That's going to add a lot of volume. So this 600 million mark, this 600 million that we just hit this week of, halfway through this year is officially the highest that we've gotten since the start of 2023. Is it possible if we went back to 2008, 2009, when there were just way too many homes on the market, we might have had over 2,500 or 3,000 homes on the market? Could we have been over that in volume, even if the prices were significantly less than what they are today? It's possible. It's possible. That's why I don't want to say our highest of all time, but at least since we've been tracking this for our purposes. And I just mentioned it there a little bit, but our median list price is up at 374.9. So we've been hovering around this 374, 375 basically for the past couple of weeks. And that was a big jump up from May and coming into June here. So I'm happy to see that it's not continuing to just rocket up. I hope that we just had a little bit of a busy spring season and that pushed some of these prices up, because we're also seeing average sold to list price and median sold to list price over 100, 102.7 and 102.3 respectively. And again, that's just telling us that, yes, these homes are selling over asking price still. And on average, they are more so than they're not. So that, I think there's going to be a little symmetry in that, because a lot of good agents will price still fairly competitively based on lower than the comps and then assume that they're going to get a price higher into the comps. There's been a really good kind of reversal of the let's start it really high and kind of and then negotiate down to the middle. Whereas now agents are recognizing like, hey, if we price this a little bit lower, we get more people in the door. More people in the door means bidding more. And even if they were only ever going to get the same amount of people to bid, the fact that the listing did have the traction that it did, the open houses were as busy as they were, is definitely driving that demand up, and it's getting better prices for the homes. Let's talk about interest rates here for a second, and then I just have one final announcement for this week. So 6.87, we did come down ever so slightly from, I think, like 6.95 that we had last week. I did do a little bit of research. The Fed did come out basically yesterday talking about what they believe is going to happen with interest rates this year. And again, I'm just really Googling here, the Fed and interest rates. And this is just a couple of the news articles that have come out about what some of the Fed chair people are saying about what they think will happen, because none of them actually know at the moment. You just have some that are saying, hey, in the most positive way, we may see 2 small interest rate cuts this year, but nobody's expecting more than like a quarter of a point to maybe half a point lower this year. We have some that are saying because of immigration and because of the heavy federal spending that's been going on, we may not see any cuts this year. And then there's an even smaller selection that say we may actually even increase interest rates for the remainder of this year. And then as we believe we may get a bigger curb on inflation come next year, that we may be able to start to see a little bit of that easing, that quantitative easing, and a little bit of the lowering the interest rates next year. But I think the point that I want to kind of bring up with that is, even if they do drop the interest rates a half a point over the next year, it's so minimal in what it's going to do from an affordability standpoint to you that it's not really worth waiting, in my opinion. Again, you could say, well, I'll wait 3 years to where interest rates are back down. One, there's no guarantee of that. And in 3 years, do you really want to be, you may have saved, you may be instead of a 6.87, you may be to a 5.87 interest rate. But in that same time, now our median list price is up over 400,000. It's a seesaw here. You got your interest rates are going down, but the price is going up. You're meeting in the middle in the same way. So for me right now, there is not enough quantitative issues in the market to determine whether you think you should or shouldn't buy, or you should wait or not wait. I don't really think you're waiting anything out here at the moment. I think what it really comes down to is what's going to be right for you, what's going to be right for the family, what's going to be just the timing that you need. And really, you start looking at other factors. If the market isn't going to be the one that dictates to you what is going to be the reason to move, you just start looking internally. Do I need the bigger house? Did I get a promotion at work? Do I need to have, do I come into a windfall of money where I'm able to now invest it and put it into a home, into an appreciable asset that'll be able to kind of ride up a little bit? Those are going to be the factors at this moment that are probably going to rule whether you're going to want to move, whether you're going to want to do those sales at the moment. Here's the last thing I will say, and this is a little bit of a change in where I sit. So I've been a realtor for 9 years, and I've really enjoyed being a commission-based realtor. And but don't get me wrong, it definitely comes with its pros and cons. But I've really enjoyed this, and I enjoy this industry, and I'm going to be spending basically the majority of my life in real estate. I was approached by an organization that owns about 8 Keller Williams market centers, and they have a new market center that not a new market center, but new for them. They just bought it. They cleared out the entire leadership team, and after much thought, last week, I did formally accept a position to be the new team leader for Keller Williams of the greater Newark area of Delaware. Now, what does this mean for my agent business? Absolutely nothing. In terms of, I'm not changing. I'm still allowed to actively sell in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Nothing really changes from that capacity. Everyone that receives this email, I will still continue this as if nothing changes. The new role does have me managing a real estate office, though. I'm going to be absorbing an office roster of about 135 experienced agents, 3 full-time staff that I will be managing, and I will be the president basically of the market center. So it's definitely a big honor, and I'm really appreciative of getting there. But the main part of that job is, it's this, right? It's what we're doing here. It's that, my job will be to improve the lives of the agents under me by teaching them how to be a good realtor. How can you serve your clientele? How can you serve your community the best? And how can you grow your business and grow your wealth and grow your family's happiness because of all of that? And so that's the opportunity that I get to start doing with them, and I get to expand my reach a little bit from that perspective. So if anybody is living in New Jersey and Pennsylvania and you're considering moving to Delaware or even Maryland, I will be getting in contact with a lot of those agents. And I will be always happy to send referrals, no matter where you are in the country. If you're going to New York, Hawaii, I know people literally all over this country and Canada that are realtors and that do real estate the similar way that I like to do and the quality that I like to do it to. One other quick update is that I'm actually getting a contractor license registered with the state. So I have a full insurance policy set up. I'm literally just sending my registration paperwork into the state. It'll be called Tuck Team Handyman Services LLC, and I will be able to start doing some small repairs for folks on the weekends. And that's just something that I grew up. I grew up around tools my entire life, and I've always known how to fix things. I fix a lot of things in my home here with Kylie, and it's just something I really love doing. And I was doing it. Maybe even one of you that's getting this have had me do a repair or two at your house while we were under contract for a certificate of occupancy report or for a home inspection report where we're doing some smaller things. So that'll be something that once I have it finalized, and I just want to make sure that I get my registration back from the state when that happens so that I'm all formal and finalized. I will be sending out some information about that. And so obviously for anybody who's receiving this email, I'm always happy to offer my services in that capacity too, because it's just something I really enjoy. And that's it. So enough about me, enough about all that. It's all good stuff. But for the main purposes of you and for this and for what we do each week here, it will not be changing. If anything, we'll be doubling down, and I'll probably be emulating this same concept for my agents in Delaware and teaching them how to do market statistics and sharing it with their community. So anyway, folks, have a great day. I'll see you next week at the end of June. And yeah, see you next time. Bye.